What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mandarin Metal, and today we are pursuing the career of a Formula 1 driver. We are still in Monza. We've put ghost hunting to a side, but we are diving into our racing now. So where we are, we're in Italy, and we are hopefully going to do well at the Italian Grand Prix. We are at Monza, and after last week's race, we're really hoping for a good result. I mean, we won the Dutch Grand Prix, we won at Zandvoort, and it was honestly, the upgrades were working amazingly, and we've got a lot of points to spend now. So first thing we've done is we've looked at upgrading some aerodynamics, and now we need to do some weight redistribution. We are lacking in the aero and the chassis side of the car. As you can see, our power unit is pretty strong, so we don't need to worry about that right now. And it's a double header, so the time between Zandvoort and Monza is quite short. And as you can see, I went out for practice 1, but it was raining, it was sopping wet, and I was not going to waste any time doing it, because it would have just, I mean, we're collecting zero data for ourselves. And I ended up skipping it. I just went in, skipped it, and now we are looking at doing some track acclimatization. We're going to do practice 2. We aren't doing practice 3. So we are just focusing, so everything is going to be poured out into practice 2. We're going to skip practice 3, and then we're going into qualifying. And now for track acclimatization, if you are new to the channel, we need to pretty much hit these corner gates perfectly. And as you can see, the first lap wasn't too great, the second lap much better, and we kept getting faster as the laps went on, and we ended up passing our practice program. And this is what we needed. We needed to get a good score here. We are now well aware of what is happening on the track and how to manage the corners, corner speed, corner exits, even though turn 1 and turn 2 is probably the hardest part of this track, but I mean, we've managed it. We know now what to do, and hopefully we can do it well. This is definitely going to be very important for qualifying. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go out, do our race simulation, making sure we don't use too much of the tires. We also don't want to use too much. We don't want to kill our lap time, so we need to make sure we're hitting optimal lap time, making sure we're using enough fuel, not too much, and also we don't want to kill our tires during this program. So this is going to help us formulate a strategy that could possibly help us in the Grand Prix, but that also depends on us. And as you can see, our tire wear isn't too bad. We did quite well, but our lap times, they started off well, but then the next lap, I don't know what happened, but the laps after that just weren't too great. And then what I did was I went out for a qualifying race, and it wasn't good. We were really bad. I think we were like a second slower than what they wanted, but we go out again, ran a little wide there, and we ended up passing our program, our qualifying program, and you can see it is a 120.3. The estimated position, or the projected position that we would be in, is first, but that always changes. You know, practice, like we say, practice, you don't score any points. You don't score points in qualifying, but qualifying does help you in the end. So we need to be mindful of this. We are 5/10ths quicker than the Red Bull, and Lewis Hamilton came in third. Sergio Perez was second. And then you can see I got the warning for skipping practice 3, but you know what? We live life on the edge, and we are going to go to practice 3. We feel pretty comfortable with this track, especially with it being such a short track. I think our lap times would be like 123s, so it's not a very long track, and it is a very fun track to partake in. I mean, it is very fun. You can see the shape of it. It is quite good. And now we've skipped some time, and we've just looked at some of the time that we need, some of the lap times that we need to beat. And I think The best lap time was a 120, and you know we got it was a 120.2, so we got a 120.3 in our qualifying. So we are here now for our first flying lap in qualifying, down to turn 1, now into turn 2. These, like I said, this is the trickiest part of the track. Coming out of turn 2, you want to make sure you get a good exit. Now, here at turn 3, approaching turn 4 and turn 5, this is going to be the next tricky part of the track. Because if you go wide and hit the curb at turn 4, over here you're going to send yourself into the gravel. As you can see, we just lightly touched that curb. You don't want to take any more. Now, turn 6, turn 7, these are all fast corners. As you can see, we are flying through the corners. It's not the best lap. DRS wide open. We have 2 DRS zones at Monza. Now, making sure we're using up everything. Turn 8, turn 9 and turn 10. This is going to set you up for a flyer of a lap and hopefully set you up for the parabolica. Now approaching turn 11 over here, but we do not know how our lap time is looking. Making sure you stick tight to the line, get a good exit here, because this is going to set you up for the long straight. And where are we when we cross the finish line? It is P8 with a 120.8. So it is not the best lap time that we could have done. We could have done a lot better, but there are 4 minutes left in the session, and I don't think anyone else could overtake us. So let's have a look at where we end up. Did we overcook ourselves over here? Did we end up making a mistake? No, we didn't. We are P11 and we are through to Q2. This is the important part, making sure we get a good qualifying into Q2. And Mark Webber has also qualified. He has gone through to Q2. This is great. This is good for the team. And now we are in Q2, so what we're going to do, we're going to set a banker time, just making sure we have at least some sort of time on the board, and we ended up setting a 121.5, which is not great. This was a very bad lap time from us, but we still need to go out again, and we're going to put on a new pair of soft tires. As you can see, we are 15th, and Mark Webber is 6th. Mark Webber has put in an amazing lap time. What a great lap. But here we go. We are now going to go out for our final flying lap in Q2. DRS wide open. 30 seconds left in the session. We need to make sure we get a great qualifying lap. Now into turn 1, heavy braking zone. Make sure you get good rotation in the car. Get a good exit out of turn 3. We are now 4/10 up on our previous best, but that was set on a used set of tires, so this shouldn't matter. Turn 3, Max Verstappen has just put in the fastest lap of a 120.1. There we go, 5/10 up. We've set the fastest first sector. Getting out of turn 4, turn 5. Good exit here. 1.1 seconds up on our previous best. Turn 6, getting a nice exit. These fast corners. Turn 7. Now approaching the DRS zone. Now Lewis Hamilton has just put in a 120.0 as the fastest lap. DRS wide open. We are now approaching turn 10, turn 9. We have just set the fastest second sector. This is looking like an amazing lap from us. Let's go. No DRS zone here, but we are approaching the final corner. Turn 11, 1.7 seconds up. Here we go. Making sure we carry as much speed as we can into that corner. Get a good exit up into 8th gear, 1.9 seconds. Where does it put us? It looks like it is first place. This definitely does give us hope for Q3. Knowing what we did in Q1, not too great. Q2 being absolutely amazing, and we'll have a look at the lap times now. But this does give us some hope. It shows that we do have pace in the car, and it's a 119.5. We are 4/10, almost 5/10 quicker than the rest of the field. This is perfect. Now it is all to play for in Q3. Mark Webber, 11th place. He almost made it into Q3, and here we go. Now that we are in Q3, again, we're gonna set a banker time just so we have some lap time on the board, making sure that if anything goes wrong, we can at least qualify somewhere in the grid. Also, it gives us some reference, and it was a 1:20.9, much better than our banker lap time in Q2, but we had some damage and we made it out just in time. Here we go. Now, our final lap of the qualifying session. Where will we end up? Are we going to get pole position down into turn 1? Great exit out of turn 2 and a good turn into turn 1. Very good. Now, we are a little bit up on our previous lap time. Turn 3, trying to avoid touching the grass. Here we go. Approaching turn 4 and 5. We have just set the fastest first sector. We are 2/10 up, coming out of turn 5. Now turn 6. Hamilton has just put in a 119.6. So hopefully we can match that or even do it better. We did put a 119.5 in Q2, but we need to focus on Q3 because this is the most important qualifying session there is. This is our final lap. And approaching turn 8, 9, and 10, we have put in a personal best in the middle sector, but it is not the fastest middle sector. Is this going to be a problem for us at the end of this lap? Let's have a look. 7/10 up, approaching turn 11, making sure we carry all the speed that we can into this corner. Now, 5th gear, 6th gear, we are 1 second up. Is this going to be enough? We are about to cross the finish line. Where does it put us? Was that enough for pole position? And no, it wasn't. We came in P4. What a shocking revelation. We did a 119.8. We would have had pole position if we had put in the lap time we did, but we can't think of the what ifs and the think in the past. We need to look to the future. We have our starting position. We are starting P4. Hopefully we are able to win the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza, but only time will tell. Let's have a look as we head down to our race.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Iceman, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Bottas, Webber, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Ricciardo, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Magnussen, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is none other than Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? Looks like they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
And there you have it, guys. That is our starting grid for this Grand Prix. Having a look at the strategy, we are going to invert it yet again. We're going to do the medium tires going into the soft tires. Hopefully this does not bite us in the bum later on in this Grand Prix. Let's have a look. It is 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are underway for the Italian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen got a horrible start, but we are here. We are now in between 2 British drivers, Hamilton and Norris, on either side of us, but we dive down the middle and we take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza. There is some yellow flags behind us. We don't know what's going on. And as we look, Webber is up into 5th place. From 11th to 5th. What a good start from him, from our teammate. Now we need to cover off Hamilton, making sure we can hopefully break the DRS zone when it does come up on lap 3. So we need to make sure, but as you can see, this is not a great lap so far for us. We need to clear our mind, we need to focus on this race, we need to make sure that we cover ourselves in every opportunity that we can, making sure that Hamilton is not able to overtake us. And here we go, running a little wide, going out of turn, coming out of turn 9 and going into turn 10, but that is fine. We've collected our car, we have not sent it into the gravel, luckily. But here we go, now turn 11, again running a little wide. We aren't focused, we aren't focusing on this Grand Prix, and we need to reconnect ourselves to this car. We've set the fastest lap, but that doesn't matter. Hamilton is on the outside, little bit of contact, but here we go. We are going to be very late on the brakes, and we keep the position. We have to back out of that. We had the inside line, making sure that we keep the position, and there we go. We are starting to first, but Sainz is now up into 2nd place, and he does have a pair of soft tires, but he has dived. No, he has not gone into the pits. We've set a couple of fastest laps. The guys behind us are battling, and this might help us in the end. Now on lap 6, we've set the fastest first sector. Hamilton is very close to us. The rest of the grid are about 3 seconds behind us, and this might just mean that Hamilton is able to overtake us. We do not have DRS, and maybe we do not have the tires at the moment. Maybe we took out everything we had in the beginning stages of this race. We almost ran into the back of Hamilton, and we need to stay within 1 second of Hamilton, making sure that we don't break that DRS zone. But we did. We ended up losing the DRS zone, and this means that Max Verstappen is now right on our tail. On lap 9, he might be able to overtake us coming out of turn 11, or even going into turn 1. He might take 2nd spot. We just need to make sure we use up all of our energy. We're going to hit it up into overtake, trying to cover off Max Verstappen, and we have the slipstream, but he does have DRS. But with overtake, we should be able to cover him off, and we're going to go around the outside, trying to keep that outside line, trying to force him to back out of the corner, and yes, he does. This does help us a hell of a lot. Now lap 13, we can see Hamilton is in the pits. We are now the race leader for the Monza Grand Prix, and here we go. We can see a lot of the guys around us have dived into the pit, and they've put on the hard tires, but we are going to go onto the soft tires. At this point, we're questioning the strategy, thinking, have we done the right thing? Staying out longer, will this help us? But it should, because this is a fast track. There's enough place to overtake. We should be able to do a great job here. Max Verstappen has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and he is currently in 4th spot after pitting a little earlier than what I think he wanted to. But I think he might have had damage. Now, end of lap 16, we are diving into the pits. We need to get these tires off. We need to put on a fresh set of rubber. We're going to go onto the soft tire, and hopefully this has not bitten us in the bum. And yeah, we need to now put our head down and just start setting some fast laps. We have about 10 laps left in this Grand Prix, and it's going to be important. These 10 laps are going to be very important. Are we able to win in Italy? Snatch the win away from the Ferrari drivers, making sure that they don't win. But yeah, let's have a look. Lap 17, Norris is 2 seconds, 1.6 seconds ahead of us. And now on lap 18, we have Webber. We have our teammate just ahead, and we are hopefully going to be able to overtake him here. Coming out of turn 7, DRS wide open. As you can see, we are getting very close to Webber, trying to use up our overtake, and we're going to dive down the inside, trying to avoid all kinds of contact with him, but also keeping it on track. We don't want any track limit warnings, and we need to keep the overtakes as clean as possible. And we managed to overtake our teammate, but also by doing this, we are going to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So let's have a look at what this lap time is going to be. We have Verstappen and Norris just in front of us. It's a 1:22.1, not a bad lap time on these soft tires. And here we go, lap 19. These two guys are fighting just ahead of us, Norris and Verstappen. Are we able to overtake them on this lap? We should be able to. We have overtake, we've got DRS, and we've got the slipstream. And the speed that we got coming out there, we've just hit 361 kilometers per hour. What incredible speed we are carrying in this car. But just with the slipstream and some DRS, amazing. And now our next target is Hamilton. He is 8 seconds ahead of us. But unfortunately, we weren't able to catch him. Our tires were just falling off, and I think we used all of our tires chasing down the guys ahead of us at that point. We chased down our teammates, Verstappen and Norris, and yeah, we just weren't able to claw back any more time to Hamilton. He just kept that gap between 7.5 seconds and 8 seconds, and it just was not great. And now you can see this lap, our tires are gone. They are finished. We're sliding around. We aren't able to control the car as much as we'd like. Norris is now catching us. This is going to be very important, making sure that we don't give up P2 in this Grand Prix. We are still fighting for a championship. Verstappen is currently leading, and any points we can take off of him is very important for us, and hopefully we can take this championship into the final race of the season. Norris 1.5 seconds behind us, 1.4. He is catching us rapidly, and again, the tires are absolutely shot at this point. We cannot afford to lose this position. 1 second and we're just sliding around. We have no grip. Hamilton does win the Grand Prix. We come in second and Norris third. These are very important points for us. It is good to finish P2, Verstappen P4, and our teammate finished in P5. Honestly, I need to commend our teammate for an amazing Grand Prix. Started P11, ended P5. He is my driver of the day. Don't care what they say. And Hamilton is our winner. It's good to see the Mercs again winning some races. But yeah, that's the Italian Grand Prix. We did not do too bad. I think we could have had pole position, but in the end we probably wouldn't have been able to win it anyway. Our car is still lacking in some parts, and we are still chasing down a championship. The Constructors is over, but it's fine. We are still chasing down this championship, and as we said, our car is lacking in some parts, but we are still managing to gain some good points, and this is important for the team, making sure we get these points. Hamilton wins, then myself, Lando, Max, and Webber. Let's have a look at the standings. We are now currently P3 in the championship, just 41 points behind Max Verstappen. We are approaching very quickly. Another couple good races, and if he does bad, we could be taking that lead very quickly, and it's going to be an important one. But that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment down below, and let me know what you think. But I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Cheers, guys.